Hi, in this video we are going to start learning about percent. As the name suggests, percent. Actually we divide it to two parts. One is per, one is cent. One is per, one is cent. Per means every and cent means 100. So percent actually means every 100. Every what? Every 100. And usually it's denoted by a sliding line, one circle up and one circle down. So we know percent is every 100. Percent again is every 100. Now example. Suppose you have a chocolate and you want to eat 1/4 of this. For that I will divide this chocolate into 4 equal parts. I will divide it into 4 equal parts. So I will color one part in blue. So I will color here one part in blue. So if I want to represent it as a fraction, it becomes 1/4. It becomes what? 1/4. It becomes 1/4. And if I want to represent it as ratio, I have to say as ratio, it's 1 to 4. This is as ratio, this is as a fraction. But if I want to represent it as percentage, here I have to divide the chocolate to 100 pieces. I will use 10 by 10 grid, so I will divide my chocolate again to 100 parts. I will count. I will divide here to 5 parts. Sorry. One, two, three, 4 and 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So must be 10 by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here I have now 10 by 10. I will count with you. We have 1, 2, to make it my handwriting smaller, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And here, that means here we have 10 columns. Let me count the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now here we have a grid with 10 by 10. So it's 100, right? 10 columns by 10 rows, it's 100. So if I want to show my answer here as percentage, I have to count the shaded parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 1, 22, 23, 24, 25. Or I can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. That means I have 25%. Okay? Now, let's go back to our lesson. Percent. Again, the percent simple. A sliding line and one circle up and one circle down. So I can represent my answer in three different ways. The first way, we can represent it as a fraction, or as decimal, or as percent. Look here, if I want to count the shaded parts, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because on each row we have 10 pieces, because this grid is 10 by 10. So each row has 10 and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can say as a fraction 15 over 100. When I simplify it, I can divide both by 5. If I want to show my answer as simplest form, I can divide both by 5. So the answer becomes a 3 out of 20. Or as decimal, I can say 1500. That means in decimal must be 1500, and percentage 15 shaded parts out of 100 shaded parts. Or you can represent it as ratio. If you want to represent it as ratio, you have to say 15 to 100. So I can represent it in 4 different ways: as ratio, as percent, as decimal, or as a fraction. Here you can leave it as 15 out of 100, or if you want to show your answer as simply, if you want to simplify it, or as simplest form, you can say 3 out of 20. Now, I think you have now an idea about the percent. Again, per means every, cent means 100, so it means per 100. Now, write the percent shown in the model. Look, I can say 1, 2, 3 multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3 times 10, it's 30, or you can say 10, 20, 30%. Here again count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here you have 65%. Again count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means 50%. 5 rows by 10 columns, it's 50, or you can count like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay? Here it's the way how to show these models using percent. We have to count the shaded parts and put percent symbol. Now complete the statement for the model. Look, here we have 3 different models. Look at the red line here. Look at the red line here. Look, here we have again red line. So out of 30, here I have to find the percent of the blue parts. Okay, look, I can say 1, 2, 3, you can count them, or you can say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% out of this. So you can say 80% out of 30. 80% out of 30, because when you multiply 80% out of 30 multiplied by 30, you will get 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you will get 24. Because 24 out of 30, it's 80% out of 30. Okay, you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Each three parts, it's like 10%. Each three parts, it's 10% because here, the shape here is divided to three columns. So I can say each three parts here represent 10%. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% of 30. Here it's the same. Look again, where is the red line? Because the question asked me to complete the statement for this model, because here we have red line, so I will not count these. I will not count them. Okay, only to the red line. So again, look, 10, 20% of count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's 20% out of 80. So the total parts, here we have 80 parts. So the question here shaded for me only 20%. Look here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That means 50% of what? Count total parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 times 10, it's 50. So here we have 25 parts are shaded. That means it's 50% of 50. So the 50% or the half of 50 is 25. So here 50% of 50 is 25. As I told you before, we can say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% out of the total parts. Here we have to the red line, only we have 50 squares or 50 parts. Okay, boys? Now, if we want to compare less than or greater than or equal or using inequalities, 50% of 30. Look here, if I want to find the value of percentage from any number, I have two ways to solve this question, or I have two ways to explain how to compare or how to find the value of the percentage. I can say 50 over 100 converted as a fraction of becomes multiply 30. Now we have fraction by fraction. We have to put it over 1 to say fraction by fraction. I can multiply direct 50 times 30. We will bring the zeros down. 5 times 3 is 15. 10 or 100 times 1 is 100. Now, if we want to find the value of 1500 divided by 100, we can cancel the zeros from numerator and the zeros from denominator. We have to cancel the same zeros. Here we have two zeros inside numerator and two zeros inside denominator, so we will cancel them. Two zeros by two zeros. So 15 divided by 1, so the final answer is 15. That means 50% of 30 is 15. And here, 40% again. We can 1 minute because here we don't have any space. I will keep this one, and I will keep this one, and I will keep it here again. So the answer here is 15. I will solve second part, 40%, 40 out of 100 multiplied by 30. Again, I have to create fraction, put it over 1 to make it as a fraction. So multiply numerator by numerator, bring the zeros down. 4 times 3 is 12, and 100 by 1 is 100. So again, as I told you before, we can cancel 1 0 up, 1 0 down, 1 0 up, 1 0 down. 12 divided by 1 is 12. So 15 is greater than 12. 15 is greater than 12. Now let me explain how to solve or how to find the value of percentage. For example, I have this question. Find 16% of 8. Again, we have to put 16 times 8 over 100 over 1, multiply 16 by 8, 8 by 6, 48, and 8 by 1, 8, plus 6 up. 8 times 6, 48, 8 by 1, 8 plus 4, 12. So 128, and 100 times 1 is 100. So 128 divided by 100 is 1.28. I have to convert 16% as 16 over 100, then multiply by 8 over 100, multiply numerator by numerator, you will get 128. 100 by 1 is 100, then divide, you will get 1.28. Or I can say 20% of 40, for example. Okay, 20% of 100 multiplied by 40. Look here, you can simplify 0 by 0 by 2 is 1, by 2 is 5. I simplified numerator by denominator. And I can simplify 4 by 40 divided by 5. 1 divided by 5 is 8. Now 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay? Now, look at the second question here. 10% of 60. I can see 10 times 60 out of 100. I can put it direct. I will cancel the first and second 0 by the first and second 0. 1 times 6 is 6 over 1. It's 6. And for the second part, it's the same. 10 times 10 out of 100. I can cancel the first 0 by the first and the second by the second. So it becomes 1 times 1 is 1 over 1. It's 1. So 6 is greater than 1. Okay? You can put them direct, or you can multiply them and convert the second number as fraction. You have to convert it as fraction. Now look here. Let me read the question. Write the percent of for each ratio. Look, 73 over 100. I told you before, percent means every 100. So I have 73 every 100. I can say 73%. It's the same 9% or 9 every 100. 25 every 100. 14 to 100, it's the same. 14 every 100. That means percent. Okay? Now find the percent of the number. When you see of 100, of 100, of 100, you can cancel 100 by the percent, so the answer is 33 direct. Or you can say 99 times 100, convert of to multiply, divided by 100 because it's percentage. 99 times 100 over 100 because it's percentage. I can cancel 100 by 100, so the answer is 90. Or I can again find the answer direct, cancel the percentage by 100, so the answer is 68. Now let's go to problem solving. Let's solve some problem solving here. Dawn has had 100 at-bats this year for her football team. She has 34 hits. How many squares would she shade on 10 by 10 grid to show the percent of her at-bats that resulted in hits? Look here. She has 34, so we will shade 34 parts. Look, 10, 20, 30, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here we have to shade these. Okay, we have to shade these parts only because she has only 34 out of 100. So I will shade only these. Again, 10, 20, 30, and 1, 31, 32, 33, 34. So it's 34%. Now, Malak collects 50 rocks. 10 rocks are smooth. He draws the diagram shown and says the ratio of smooth rocks to all rocks is 10 to 100. So it's 10%. 10 to 100 or 10 every 100, it's 10% because percent again, it's every 100 of these rocks are smooth. Describe Malaki's error. Look, if I want to check 10% of 50, I can say 10 times 50 divided by 100. So it becomes 10 times 50 is 500 divided by 100, cancel the zeros. So the answer is 5 smooth rocks. It's wrong. So the mistake here, he must put 10% of 100 or 20% of 50. We can put 10% of 100, it's 10, or 20% of 50, it's 10. Or you can say 10 over 50. You can shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here, if I want to find the percentage, that means I have 10, 20% out of what? 20% out of what? I shaded 10 parts out of 50. I shaded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 parts out of 5 times 10, it's 50. That means 10, 20, 20% out of 50%. Okay? Thank you.